Hello guys, welcome to the King's Castle. It's a host, Siaboga Gift, back again for another banging episode. We're going to speak about education and also 16 days of activism. It's a great topic. Tune and be with us. And please share the video, please like, please subscribe. So we have two wonderful hosts. We have Date Debuo, also known as Angel Michael. I call him the Michael. Please don't call me that. It's only me, the Michael. And then here we have Ntate Mufukeng Jerry. I call him Da Gustavo. Gustavo Wanda. Yeah. This one guy. Yeah, these are two wonderful hosts. And we're going to start with education. Yes, I know life is hard in South Africa. We face hardships day in, day out. It's really hard. And we realize that people tend to say education is a key to success. Is it really a key to success? And what is education? Let's start. Gustavo, can you please explain to us what do you understand by the word education? What's education according to you?
Let us first start here. I've heard most of the people saying education is no longer a key to success, but connection is. I think people saying that, I think anyone who thinks like that is wrong. First, we have to understand the term education. What is education? Education is an enlightening experience. There are plenty of explanations when coming to education, but then I like this one of enlightening experience. That is how I can explain what education is.
Oh, Michael, what's your view? What's education according to you?
Education is to give you knowledge. Knowledge. So knowledge.
Knowledge,
Yeah.
knowledge. And I've heard something interesting about education. As they say, it's an enlightening experience and it's also to give knowledge. I always wonder what's wrong with our education system and how can we change it? Because if you have realized these days, especially in our country and in our society, knowledge is monopolized in such a way that people tend to study but not know how to apply those certain skills or certain knowledge that they have learned because they lack certain registrations or certain certificates for work and also for daily use. To come to it, should one be called or deemed or also graduate in order for them to be called educated? And how can we use education? What's your views, guys?
I really don't think. I think it's not really necessary for you to be a graduate in order to be considered educated. I mean, we have got. I'm only going to talk about three types of education. We have got a formal education, informal, and non-formal education. Now, when we talk about a formal education, we are talking about the kind of information, the kind of education whereby you have to attend classes. We are talking about whereby you have to wear a school uniform. Then that kind of education is what can I say? It's blended. Let me say it's a blend education. Everything is planned. You've got the syllabus that you're going to do in a particular time. That is part of that is formal education. And informal education, it's where we talk about practical adult learning. That is one example of informal education.
Isabet.
So
Isabet.
Yes, ability. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
Sure.
Now, heading
Yeah.
to non-formal education.
Sure.
Mostly I can regard it as gaining experience from work,
Sure.
gaining being self-educated. There are certain things that you don't necessarily have to learn from somebody, but you learn from yourself. So self-education forms part of non-formal education. So I just don't get it as to why people would consider education as something that is no longer a key to success. Because in order for you to do whatever that exists on earth, you need education. I think people have to say formal education is not the key to success. But when you say education as a whole is not the key to success, then you are talking something else. You know the kind of word that I'm using for people who are talking rubbish. So I'm not gonna use that name here. I'm not gonna use that name here. Now, people, somebody who says education is not the key to success is talking rubbish.
True.
That is rubbish. You can go. You know, I've heard certain people say, after completing my matric, then I'm going to driving school. I'm going to learn how to drive. I'm going to do code 40. Then I'm going to drive trucks. I don't need education. Now, bear in mind, when you go to driving school, somebody is going to educate you how to drive.
True.
Now, when you arrive at the company, ne, they are going to educate you. In order for us to consider what you are doing successful, then you have to follow these steps. That is education. That person is educating you in order to consider your work successful. So if somebody says education is not the key to success, then what do they mean? Do they even understand the term itself, success? I don't think they really do.
Yeah.
So it's up to you as an individual on what you feel. Yes, we can say I personally can say they are talking rubbish when they say education is no longer a key to success. Most of the people, when you ask them a question as to why do they say education is no longer a key to success, they always claim that we've got plenty of graduates staying at home doing nothing. That is why I am saying they rather say informal education is not the only key to success. Not is not the key. It's not the only key to success.
Yeah. Plus, I don't know if you've realized these days we tend to face a problem where many of us are kind of minded, but I don't want to put it in such a term, kind of minded. I want to put it in such a way of we are isolated. It's like we want to follow a specific pattern that I must go to school, study, then find a job. We are not that diligent when coming to creating a job for us, starting from scratch. It's like we have fear. Sometimes it's not even fear, it's lack of funds, and sometimes not even lack of funds.
Sometimes lack of knowledge.
True.
Lack
Lack of
knowledge.
knowledge. It's like we don't know how to use our brains, but at the end we can easily make bad decisions. But good decisions tend to be a difficult thing. I don't know what's wrong. And it's kind of funny. Everything that we have learned, like sometimes as the Gerere said, coding, sometimes you can learn everything from yourself.
Yeah.
Just like the day when you were born, there are few things that are helping you to survive right now that you were never taught from day one. Example, breathing. When you were born onto this planet, your first task was to learn how to breathe. From there, you had to learn how to eat and swallow. If you fail to learn how to eat and swallow, or even how to breathe, you are not supposed to be here. And the most important thing that is still limiting us now is that we taught ourselves how to limit ourselves. That's why when you feed a baby, when the baby feels constipated, they tend to do this. "Ah, ah." Why?
I'm enough now.
It's enough. We have limited ourselves to such a way that we don't even try to grow. It's like, I don't know, it's like we have a barrier. I don't know if it's a psychological barrier or if it's a financial barrier, but we tend to face barriers when coming to growth. That's why these days, even when coming to connections, we don't have connections anymore. And not having connections in this country tends to be a problem because sometimes you have a dream, you have the education or the so-called knowledge, but you lack the fundamentals and the right rules to conclude with it and create your own stuff, or also to even find a job, because it's difficult. Imagine if I owned a business and uh, Michael came to me and then asked me for a job. I could simply give him a job. But have you ever realized that how hard is it for people or low tier people like me and you, or most of us, who tend to struggle day in, day out, looking for jobs, to know such people and to find such jobs? Other jobs are good paying jobs, they don't need anything or any hard skills. With such minimalistic skills like typing, you can just get in. But people tend to get employed and get paid good money, whereas people who are doing harsh tasks are paid little.
They are underpaid.
They're underpaid in a lot. I don't know why. But because of that, we tend to wonder, should connections still be valid to us? Or should we put it in a term like this? Should connections still be prioritized on our daily basis when coming to meeting people? Because if you're not social, you don't have connections, you are stuck in life.
You know,
You need to fade.
I personally think that connections are needed. Um, in some instances, uh, you find yourself not knowing about, let me say, one of the big companies advertises a vacancy. Now, you don't get to know about the vacancy, and you don't have a connection. But if you have a connection, then surely somebody, that particular person having that connection, will surely connect you with the right person in order for you to get that job. Listen to me. I've heard people say um, education is not a key to success, but connection is. Connection will always be a key to success in jobs, whereby, specifically when coming to jobs, I just want to specifically talk about jobs. Um, Succeeding, success means, in terms of jobs, means succeeding to in finding a job. In order for you to find a job, you need a connection. But connection works when um, you get to get hired in a position whereby you don't necessarily need a formal education. If you understand what I'm saying.
True.
Yes, connection can lead you to a right place, but imagine if you were to be connected. Let me say, for instance, you have to be a manager of one of the big companies. So then even if you can have connections, you don't have something in hand to prove that you can do that particular job. You understand what I'm saying? That is why I'm only talking about the job in terms of jobs.
Yeah.
When we talk about education, this topic itself is very much broad. We can talk about certain things, but I personally want us, or I personally would like us to um, focus on education and jobs today. education and jobs. Then we'll do another video where we talk about education and something.
Sure.
You understand what I'm saying? So I think connections are needed.
Yeah.
We all need connections. We all need connections. I won't disagree with anyone on that one. But one thing that I disagree with is when people say education is not the key to success.
So I don't know if it's me or not. Have you ever realized that many people tend to be hired after sex? And sometimes it even gets worse because there are cases of rapes in professional places or professional institutes where people work day in, day out, and they're claimed invalid because it looks as if they were framed, or else it's ill. Others don't even reach that level because people are connected with police, for example. They can just render any case useless. And everything is possible these days. You can place a hit on anyone. For God's sake, you can even kill me. By just having my name here and place a hit on me. Things are like that these days. Is being educated such a big thing? And if it is, why are we still struggling when coming to winning the mental warfare, whereby we need to produce new products, come with new innovations and everything? Because I've realized some things, like it's kind of strange. Other people study towards obtaining a PhD just for them to read us notes in universities. Others study to be teachers just for them to read notes. If you ask them about something out of their context of study, but in that specific field, they don't know anything. They just know what they have. Yeah, I don't know why. Why is education so limited? And if this is the kind of education that we receive, is there a way that we might go forward as a country, even in life, Michel?
Okay, you can
Okay,
proceed.
What I think is that uh, the places the leaders on they like money too much. They are greedy. And most women are the ones that are the one. They are the most ones they take advantage of that. Always, 100% always. Men are not having that problem, but they pay on that money to get the job.
You know, just to add on whatever you just said, no? I think it also comes with desperation.
Yeah.
You know, almost everyone can do whatever it takes in order to go back to go to bed having something on their stomach. Poverty is not nice. I think we can all agree with that.
Yeah. Yes.
So some people use their bodies in order to get something.
Yeah. I see.
And who are we to judge them? Who are we to judge them? We cannot judge them. So these people, our leaders, take advantage of that. They take advantage of that. And I don't think it's quite a good thing having to take an advantage of a lady in need of a job and then you ask them to sleep with him first and you give them a certain position. I don't think it's quite a good thing. I think we should have had a lady with us here just to hear their side of the story.
Yeah,
You understand what I'm saying? But honestly speaking, I don't think it's quite a good thing.
yeah,
And I just want you to repeat the question that you asked before.
yeah. Usually, it's
What was the question again?
the question was, is there a way that we can go forward if education, the kind of education that we have is still like this, whereby everything is not taught to improve, but everything is it's placed in a certain margin. Whereas I had this thing in mind that every country education is there to fit the needs of its country. But I've realized that our kind of education that we're receiving is not fitting the needs of our country because it's lacking. Even if they can try to improve it by increasing the pass grades, it doesn't help by anything because increasing pass grade doesn't mean you are delivering quality education. You must give quality education, not improve a pass rate. By improving the levels, increasing the levels, I mean, it doesn't change anything. Yes, more people will fail at the end, but at the end, the knowledge that you give or teach, it doesn't give us any worth at the end. But I know they're doing it because it's what they were taught, and they have nothing else to teach. The problem is repeating everything and not coming up with new innovations.
Something new.
Yeah.
Now, just to answer your question, I think we all know this.
True.
This is a smartphone.
True.
So why are we using it? Or why are we making it a damn phone? Why are we? I think we can get almost every information from this phone.
True.
So
100%.
we are actually limiting ourselves.
True.
We are limiting ourselves because when you have data, you rather set something that is not limited to something that you are studying towards.
True.
The only thing that you magically is
Yeah.
also channel banyana social media.
Podcast.
We can all agree to that.
True.
We can all agree to that. Recipes are an living source, but at the end of the day, we do not use them the right way.
True.
You understand what I'm saying? We are actually limiting ourselves.
Yeah.
No one is limiting us
True.
because yes, even in this on this phone, there are certain things that are limited.
True.
Yes, we've got some things that are limited, but the kind of education that we need in order to improve our country is not limited. We can get from our cell phones.
And also our hands.
Exactly. And one thing that can help us learn is for what we are doing. We're just doing now.
True.
Recording videos, talking about certain things, changing the way people think.
True.
Not literally negatively changing, but positively changing the way they think.
Yeah.
And I think that is one thing that can help us.
True.
You understand? The only thing that we need as a country is knowledge.
Yeah.
Simple.
Knowledge is power, people. Yes, yeah. I always say people saying money is power and whatsoever. Yeah, it's also power, but knowledge is the first thing that we can regard as power.
Yeah.
Money makes the world go round, but knowledge is power. You
Yeah.
can never ever do anything without the knowledge.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So it's important for us to use the resources that we have in a right way. Let us not limit ourselves. I always say to people, strive to, when you study, strive to get 100%. So that if you don't reach 100%, you at least obtain 90 something percent, 80 something percent. That thing itself, do not limit yourself when you start. Okay, I'm only going to, I only want 50%, then therefore I'll be fine. You're going to get that 50% of yours. Graduate and do whatever. But there'll be a lot of information missing. And remember that when you are qualified, you are a landscape and architect. When you are qualified, we don't care as to whether you're passing with 50%. There are certain things that you do not know, certain things that you didn't study and whatsoever. We just give you a job. You are qualified. We are expecting you to do that particular job.
Yeah.
So that is one thing that we need not to do, limiting ourselves.
True.
You need not to limit yourself. You understand what I'm saying? So I cannot necessarily blame our government or education system, but somehow I do blame them. But that is a story for another day.
Yeah.
I blame them somewhere.
Yeah.
But now, when coming to this topic of today, then we need not to blame anyone but ourselves.
Yeah. Because we can even stretch it and go far. If we have realized other people live in rigid zones whereby they don't even have access to internet or even media or even technological
But some of
boundaries.
us have got that advantage of
True.
living, just like where we are now. Where we are, there's a free Wi-Fi.
True.
You always see people
Hanging around.
hanging around. Yes. You always see them hanging around.
Yeah.
If you can go, and check what is it that they're searching on the internet.
Yeah, for 50 purposes, you gotta not say. When you know, you know.
Now, what I'm thinking about this
Gula.
about the job. When we ask you the question,
Yeah.
there are some people they have talents to play football or to do what. But without education, education is somewhere can take you
Education is between yourself
yourself.
and your talent.
Yeah.
It lies in between you.
It doesn't matter you have a talent or what.
It doesn't matter.
But you have to
Education is something that you need to have.
You have
And it's not necessarily have to be formal education.
Yeah. But
But education on its own, something to enlighten you. That is why I said I like this explanation that says education is an enlightening experience. Everybody needs something to enlighten them.
Because your mind is gonna be the temple, the biggest playground of the devil.
Thank you very much.
Certainly.
So if you like knowledge,
Don't be like me, don't like knowledge.
But the problem, yeah.
no.
What I like, you have to have maybe take books in the library. Simple.
just to study something.
Just to study something, to know something. Maybe you can maybe research to start something.
It doesn't matter as long as you get some education.
Yeah.
Whether you read from the newspaper, whether you read from the books that were written by people like myself. I'm kidding. Now, whether you are reading books, newspaper, or you're using your phone to your cellular phone to get some information.
Yeah. Even you can download the books from.
Exactly. Now, we've got YouTube.
True.
People can learn a lot of skills
Things no.
And for free.
for free. Why is it for free? We are having
A crisis right now.
we're having a crisis, and the only way to solve that crisis is to use the resources that we have.
Yeah.
In a
But
good way.
it starts from here.
It starts from our heads.
The problem is here.
That is why I always say to you,
Yeah.
if we can change the way we think,
True.
then we can change the way we live.
Yeah.
Now, how to where we are now? Empafela a little feeling that we don't have power,
Yeah.
and then finally a free Wi-Fi.
True.
Why can't people come wherever they come from, come sit here, search new skills, the skills that we can implement in our locations in order to improve the economy of our townships first. Then from townships, then we go provincial.
Yeah.
From provincial level to national level. From national level, continental. Then from there, international. I think it's something that has to start.
Yeah.
We have to start here.
And do you know how can we help them? And also you as a viewer on your community too, because we know, especially if you're living around Africa, South Africa, or wherever, every place, wherever you are, remember, in every local area, we have different languages. And sometimes it becomes a problem when coming to language. We face a language barrier, even when coming to searching. Some of us, actually, most of us have dreams, aspirations, goals. We want to attain them. The problem is we lack the necessary knowledge and we lack to speak the language in order to attain them. So it becomes a problem searching. For example, let's say I'm looking for, I want to create a new alcohol brand, for example, right? That I want to do. If you have any leads, please comment. We want to hear. We want to hear. Yeah. So just say, let's say I want to create a new alcohol brand. I'm still doing my research. As you know, I'm also doing research about the different facilities and everything. So it happens that I'm not punctual with English on, or let me just say, I don't know how to speak English properly or also write English properly. It becomes a problem because I'll be searching things like, what's my home language? Jwala bo etsuwa jwang? Imagine,
That one,
Google won't answer
that
you,
one,
even
that
you
one,
try.
Now,
that
so
one
I think we can approach people whom we know that
Yeah.
this person can be this person is quite fluent with English.
Yeah.
Listen, man, I just want to do a research. I'm having an idea of doing producing my own alcohol, manufacturing and doing everything. Now, that can also be a problem because you come to me telling me the idea that you have, and then I steal the idea.
And then use
that's
it.
the problem.
Use it as mine.
Even the songs they can just steal it.
Exactly. Some people come to you asking for help,
Yeah.
and then certain people take advantage of that.
True.
You can go. I've heard people saying that they have approached municipality. I'm not going to mention the name of the municipality. They approach the municipality with their service plans, business plans. I mean, so business plans, and then those business plans were taken by that particular person responsible for such things. Now you hear somebody saying that after 2-3 months, then I saw my business plan going on. Somebody else has started a business exactly as something that I've written down. So that means certain people will be stealing your ideas. So I think it's necessary for us to be able to read and write.
True.
And we can only get that, we can only get to know that from education, not only formal education.
Even for a phone, they can translate for you.
Yeah.
It can translate for you.
A phone can translate for you.
Yeah.
But how are you going to know if the phone can translate for you if you have no knowledge?
Yeah.
It's gonna be problem. This one.
How do you know what?
Yeah.
And when
What you said right now. You all know that you don't know.
the teacher, my best teacher when I was doing matric. I like the guy. Mr. Now. I like the guy. That guy we used to say, there's no stupid person in life.
Yeah, it's true.
The only stupid person is someone who doesn't know that they don't know. Correct. How they know how to eat.
Yeah.
You are stupid. How they know how to eat.
Yeah,
You
like
think you know,
but
but
you
you
don't know.
Yeah.
You
Anything
are unconsciously competent. Unconsciously incompetent. Go ahead. You don't know, but you are not aware that you don't know. And these words that consciously competent. I took those words from Mr. C. The one who was teaching you physical sciences.
Yeah.
The one who was teaching you physical sciences. He's the one behind those words.
Yeah.
So We all need education.
We all need education.
We all need
Yeah.
education in order for us to learn.
Yeah.
It's very important. Education is the key to success.
And the other thing is, I don't know if you have realized that
Okay, we're
we
back.
can even say that. Now, let me rephrase that. One question: how can we improve education? Because our educational system is just not make sure, guys. It's not make sure.
Hey, your questions are difficult. Man.
Yeah. Because I
Can
had
I
some.
can I answer that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I can answer
You may
it.
proceed.
Yeah. For me, now, for me to
As you guys can see that this guy is coming from school, he just finished writing his final examinations today, and then we wished him well.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't wish people luck because luck is for those who did not prepare themselves.
True.
Yes. So
Yeah.
I
Plus,
think
it's a bit full.
I think he's talking from school level.
Yeah.
Whatever he's going to answer, whatever he's going to say, then he'll be saying it from school level. I think he recognized on what the education system lacks,
Sure.
and then he's got some um, things
Yeah.
to add on how our government can actually make their education system better.
yeah. Um, for us to improve the education is to bring back the religion in the Indian school and improve how to the children to have to play school and to play football or whatever sports they want.
Yeah.
And because these days youth are using drugs,
Yeah.
and also to have the things that they do in the school, like
Extramural
making
activities.
to rock up to fix cars, to improve the school level.
Yeah. That will be awesome.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Actually, that would be
Plus,
awesome.
if you have realized, when coming to our local schools, which are not C class schools, we tend to neglect extramural activities. We just focus on studying, and that's where people end up being drug users, most of them, because they lack things to distress with. And yeah, and it will be great to include sports in schools too. That's a great idea. And also to when coming to implementing kind of what do they call it? Practical knowledge, fixing cars. That will be awesome. It will also add value on our education system
Yeah.
because we will teach our children how to know technological innovations from a young age and let them go with it. And to the later stage, we'll even have new scientists rising from scratch. Imagine that would be wonderful.
Yeah,
Imagine
yeah,
your
yeah.
grade three child. I don't know. We've actually imagine an 8-year-old inventing a car. That would be wonderful. The best thing that could ever happen in this world.
And
I just can't wait for it.
just to add on that,
Sure.
do you remember one day we once had a conversation about our educational system failing us? You and I, both of us, had that kind of topic one day. But it's just a matter, it's just a problem that the problem is actually we did not record that conversation. That is where the problem is.
Yeah.
Now, you remember I once said our educational system is failing us.
Yeah.
How can you take a grade 12 learner to a career exhibition?
That's
Whereas that particular person has already chosen the subject to major with.
yeah.
That is where they are failing us.
True.
I personally think that grade 7s, grade 8, and grade 9s should be the ones attending career exhibitions.
That's right.
Now, Why am I saying that? First time you're doing grade 7, you're not familiar with this kind of fields, career exhibition, what is career exhibition. Then they don't necessarily have to study from grade 7. They can study from the lower level. Just like you said, imagine an 8-year-old implementing a car. That would be awesome. They can also study from, let me say, grade 3, grade 5. Then you get to decide for quite a long time as to what is it that I want to be. And I always advise people to consider their strengths and weaknesses when choosing a career. Now,
That's true.
you cannot be a nurse.
That's it.
If you don't like people, you don't have to work with people.
True.
You cannot be a nurse and work with people. You cannot be a nurse and work with people whereas you don't like people.
Or even be a psychologist.
It
doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
But that's what
Most
we
of
face
the people,
day out.
day in, day out, we
Yeah.
are facing that. Go to local clinics, go to local hospitals. This is what we come across.
So,
Even our schools, there are certain people who went for teaching, but they are not good when coming to teaching.
True.
Not only delivering knowledge, but
socializing.
socializing.
Like,
Then they are not good.
and
Like
I've
that.
ever
You
realized that
understand
they
that?
even implemented the new thing of making a reservation in order for you to have a meeting or to be attended. For example, in clinics, you now have to make a reservation in order for them to attend your needs. Like also in schools, you don't just go to school, you must make reservations. I think that is failing us too, because I know they're trying to make things run smooth because there's a lot of people and services and they are short-handed. But I think that impacts our growth too, education-wise and also health-wise. But I don't want to go into health because people will die. We all know that. Imagine if you're an 18 person, you go to a clinic with a runny stomach, be like, hey, I'm dying, hey, I'm dying. And they'll say, come next week.
Next week.
Yeah. Then what? You die. Then nothing will happen. Nothing will happen. Just like that. So then if it's going to be implemented in your town, please, I don't know, make a petition, fight against it. It's not good. It's not good at all.
Yeah.
People will die. And I realized this when I was still in university. I won't mention which one, but if you know, you know. But I'm an ancestor. So so as I'm saying, that's what I realized, and it's bad. Eh? It's built for health, and when coming to education, doing that limits us because that's where we have great numbers of teenage pregnancy. Because majority of the time they're spending it at home doing nothing, and you know these days we have access to social media, the most versatile and most dangerous weapon one can have. Guess what are they doing with it? That's where we found children dating. It's not a problem if you date. We don't have a problem with it. The problem starts whereby you do things that surpasses you.
Exactly.
Yeah. Imagine a child, a 12-year-old child, pregnant, carrying away, impregnated by a 14-year-old or even 11-year-old. It's possible these days. Things happen. You'll be surprised. It's even worse. Dating is more accessible, and that's why I like the part when you said that we must include religion in schools, because through religion we can also control people's behavior because they teach us about morality most of the times. So by being more sensitive, we can limit a ton of things. That's why I like that idea too. Yeah.
One thing, another thing. You remember you were at VJ's,
Okay.
career day, career also.
Yes.
They were doing that. It helped me a lot to 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 observe myself where I'm standing from grade 7 to grade 9. I know myself, already know myself. You were already in that close of maybe you want to be a police or a doctor. You come on that day wearing that
particular uniform.
yeah. This, it was nice.
It was nice.
You already know
Yeah,
what you come want to come.
I also went through that. I also went through that when I was doing grade 7 up to 9. I just never wanted to mention the
Yeah.
name of the school because now,
Hey, sensitive.
yeah,
Sensitive.
but now
Sensitive.
I, I I'm also one person who underwent. I'm a victim. Let me say. Let me put it in that way. I'm a victim of um, a wrong educational system. But somehow I also blame myself because I had this and I didn't use it in the right way to get the right information, and I did not observe myself enough because by the time I was doing at least grade 9, I should have um sat down, checked my strengths and my weaknesses, and then when I choose the subject, I would have chosen subjects that align with my personality. Uh, so I'm a victim, but I don't want to blame our educational system that much. I also blame myself because I did not observe myself. You know,
True.
I'm in engineering field now,
Sure.
and most of the people keep asking themselves questions that this person is in engineering field, and but he was doing history, uh, mathematical literacy, geography, and with mathematical literacy you cannot go in engineering field. I had to to walk a very long way in order for me to get to engineering field.
Yeah. But
Imagine going to Fixback, having to go to Kronstadt first in order for you to get to Fixback. That is quite a long distance. You understand what I'm saying? So having knowledge and aligning the career that you want to follow with the strengths and your weaknesses will easily help us to make the right decisions.
True.
Because, like I said, I'm a victim. So I don't want other people to go through what I went through. You understand what I'm saying?
Sure.
So, people, please, I am begging you, before choosing a career, check if it aligns with your strengths and your weaknesses. That is all I'm asking from these people, from our viewers. That is all I'm asking. We cannot afford to have people working in a certain place and not loving their job.
that's a problem.
We cannot. I experienced that at high school. There are certain teachers that never liked their job. People are just in it for it.
True.
You are just in it for it. You just went there because you need money.
True. And it's everywhere.
Yeah. You need money. No, I need to go there. Yeah. I need
Imagine.
money. Imagine, I know of people, my friend, I know of people we went to varsity with. I'm not going to mention the name of the university.
Sure.
We went with those people. Some of them today, they got in university registering for certain courses. But when they face difficulties, they change and did education. Today they are teachers. Some of them do regret. No, man, this is not my fault. Imagine somebody's qualified, but after what? After a few years, 2, 3 years, they do not enjoy what they are doing.
That's a problem.
That is where the part of strengths and weaknesses comes in. You understand what I'm saying? So it's important for you to observe yourself, make observations on yourself before choosing a career. And remember, guys, education is still a key to success.
Yeah. And always, before you choose a career path, do yourself a favor. Do some research about job availability in that career field. Because reality check, guys, it's hard out here, guys. It's hard. It's hard.
And
There are no jobs, guys. You
just
can make yourself a job.
And we are increasing unemployment.
just to add on what you guys just said. So I know of people who have studied human resource management. I'm not saying you must not study human resource management. No. That is not what I'm saying. But I am saying I know of plenty of people staying at home. But remember that we are not the same. Somebody can study that human resource management, and thereafter they get themselves a job. And what I can personally say or advise our viewers, I can say, guys, please. I'm not saying this only because I'm in engineering field. I want people to follow my path. No. People, the only thing that we need to do, the only thing that can help, not the only thing actually, something that can also help us improve or help our township's economy to grow is technical skills.
Technical skills.
We in South Africa, it is proved, it has been proved that South Africa lacks artisans. So, guys, please go and check, just like Sia said, go and check, make a research on availability of jobs before choosing a career. I am begging you, even this guy.
You must go and check back.
I'm going to talk to him. You know the language that I'm using when I talk to him. You know the language. Now I'm going to talk to him after this video.
Yeah.
And guys, feel free
Sure.
to go to people, contact people, ask them, seek for knowledge.
Yeah.
Seek for knowledge. The only thing that we need in this country is knowledge. If we can have knowledge that we need, then we are going far in this country.
And remember, at the end, it matters. We all live, we all die. But death is not an option. Do you want to live for someone's dream, or do you want to die for your dream? Think about it. I'll hear from you at the comment section. Peace out.
Make the right choice.
Halala!
Aya!
Make the right choices.
Peace out.